Hey everybody, welcome back to Chicago Car Club. Today we're going to be taking you through this 1968 Volvo P1800s. This car came out of Virginia, where it spent a good bit of its last 2 decades, as we understand. The seller moved to the Midwest here, and due to garage space, decided he had to part with it. So we ended up with it. There are some service records, however, they are still boxed in storage, and we're hopeful we'll get them at some point, but we make no guarantees. So unfortunately at the time we only have minimal records on it. But we're going to take you around, show you everything about it, give you the up close nitty gritty. And always we encourage you to give us a call if you have any questions or would like a live FaceTime or any type of Zoom call with us. We can walk you around. Our number is 312-420-3696. Just going to move you around here, get close. The paintwork, it has been refinished. We don't know how long ago. We're guessing about 15 years. The finish work is nice on it. It's got a couple little spots of overspray that we note on some of the rubber gaskets. Things that you'd hope would be removed when you repaint a car, but don't always get removed. So the chrome and bright work is nice. There's a little bit of oxidation on some of the chrome, as you can see here, and on the underside there's a little bit of peeling on it, but really this car shows very, very nicely. It's got some normal blemishes on it, little nicks and scratches and chips in the paint, and we'll try and do our best to point those out to you. It's a very well sorted car. It runs and drives beautifully, as you'll see here later in the video. This is a 94 color code, so it's in its correct colorway, which is dark green. And you'll see inside the doors, they didn't refinish them, which kind of tells us they started with a nice car. Usually, if they're any rougher, they have to refinish the inside of the jambs and everything. This was just a finish on the outside. On these lower portions here, a couple little spots, you'll notice a little bit of bubbling in the paint. Indicative of maybe some rust coming from behind the panel there, kind of in those normal low spots that might hold water. Again, a couple chips, scratch there with some mismatched touch-up paint on it. And as you can see here, some of these door gaskets around the window are just old and dried. The owner we bought it from, kind of kicked himself for not replacing them, but we understand that. That's pretty common. The windshield gasket looks pretty good. And that's where we saw that little bit of overspray on that. So it's kind of normal to not try and move or work around pulling a windshield out when you paint. But again, move to the back here. Wheels and tires are great. Aftermarket wheels. Again, a little bit of bubbling there. This car is a driver, and it's also shows really well. So this is something that's been maintained to a street-ready driver level, and it truly shows. Inside the trunk, you got the spare tire and wheel. Give you a little bit of a lay of the land. Closes nice and easily when you drop it. Again, just a little bit of oxidation on this stuff, but really, really nice. The interior on this car is not original. The prior owner was hoping to maybe switch it back to original, but we kind of like it. It's got character the way it is. It's era correct, which is cool. This is a US market car. It's a left-hand drive. It is a 4-speed overdrive car, and it also has Volvo air conditioning, which are 2 options that are pretty desirable here. Again, inside the jamb, that's original paint you're looking at. As you can see, it's a little flatter green there, but that's the original green. Bottom of the doors, a little hard to see, but the doors are nice and solid. There's your original Volvo sticker. Take inside here, try and get the blurriness out of the video. You can see the Volvo air hanging from under dash. And here you've got your heater bias. The car does have seat belts, which is confidence inspiring. We'll move around to the driver's side. That door panel's a little loose. We didn't do anything to reattach it. It kind of pulled away from the panel a little bit. Pretty easy fix. We can probably help you with that. We just wanted to jump and get this thing up for sale as quick as we could. As you'll see here, the inside of the door jamb is nice and dry. Again, original paint, sill plate, up into the striker, which is also in good condition. There's no big overspray in there. Looking at the dash, this wheel we believe is aftermarket. It's got some splitting on the plastic, you'll see. The dash has some hairline cracking in the gauges, but otherwise worked perfectly. Headliner's all there. There's your rear seat. Again, custom interior that was fitted to the car some time ago. We'll open the hatch here, or rather the hood. As you can hear, the car's running. There's an upgraded AC pump, as you can see. The SU carburetors are there. The owner tells us it's probably not the original motor in the car. I don't know if that's to be correct or not, but it is a era correct for the car, a P18. And as you can see, this car has been really well mechanically maintained, especially. It runs nice, it takes a good idle. It's got all the idle control and throttle control inside the car, work perfectly. The fuel filter is nice and clean at the bottom. And as you can hear, it runs quite well. Keeps nice temperature, all the things you look for in a car that you want to put on the road and drive. The AC blows ice cold. We're going to take you for a ride here. We're going to take this P1800 for a ride around the block. As you can see, the speedometer, tachometer, and odometer all work. And you can see your overdrive lever on the right there. Okay, so taking you into the car, we just want to kind of show you what we couldn't quite show you outside. There's your rocker panel, nice and solid. A little bit of paint bubbling on there, rather superficial. Under this front here, we'll show you, that's the suspension parts, all the rubber's intact. There's a little bit of dry cracking on some of it, but it's very roadworthy the way it is. We wouldn't recommend replacing any of it at this point, as everything's there. And like we said, the car is a great driver. A little bit of, right in that rolled up edge in the pinch weld, you see a little bit of bubbling there in the paint. I'm sure there's a little bit of oxidation happening there, but you can see the understructure of the car is really solid. It appears like it might have been undercoated at some point. We try to leave them as original to the previous owner as we can, if that's one way to say it. You know, we're not big on spray painting undercarriage and things. We like to show it the way that we find it. As you can see, there's some rear end oil around it, normal things, or it picks up road grit and stuff. You can kind of see the undercoating on this throughout, but the floorboards are really solid. Your seatbelt mounting positions are solid and good. All your frame welds. There's your overdrive unit. Again, frame rail up into the wheel well, nice and solid. Just a really solid car. Oil doesn't seem to bother us. It doesn't really drip much underneath on the floor. Just years of slow leaking. See the disc brakes, all the front suspensions there. So that's our 1968 Volvo P1800s overdrive AC car. We encourage you to give us a call or stop by, or feel free to shoot us a text message at 312-420-3696. Thanks for watching.